Last year I gave you a tour of our homeschool room, but since then we have moved. And so now I would like to give you a tour of our new homeschool room. Hi, I'm Stacey with Kids Learning for Life. And the first thing I want to mention is that this homeschool room is not overly large and there's not a whole lot to it when we dive down into it. Before I get started, I just wanted to mention that I'm going to try to link to any of these items in the descriptions below. So if you see something, I'll try to put it all linked below, but instead of me saying, oh, I'll link this below throughout the whole video, I'm just going to tell you right now that if you see something, I'll try to find most of these items that I use for my homeschool and link them in the description. Our homeschool room is located right off the kitchen, which I like for several different reasons. First, when we're making breakfast in the morning, sometimes my kids like to start on some of their schoolwork, so we have a little opening into the schoolroom and they're able to ask questions while I'm cooking or anything like that. So I love this right off the kitchen. Once we actually get into school time, I have my teacher couch. And I call it my teacher couch just because that's where I like to sit while I'm answering their questions, or if I teach them a lesson. That's just kind of where I hang out, and they know that they can come get help with a problem or anything like that. Next, I want to show you our bookshelf. Now, I absolutely love this space, and we actually just recently expanded it to include more book space. It used to have a lot more cubbies in here with toys, but I wanted to kind of minimize the number of toys in this room, so I kind of just kept the basics. So up at the top, you'll see that I have some little readers, and these are just little Bob books or beginning books, and those are going to be mostly for my youngest. And then I also have walkie-talkies and binoculars that they love to take outside and play with, and so this is just a good location for us to keep those and know where they're at. For the bookshelf, I organized it by fiction and nonfiction. So we have nonfiction books right up on top so that they know that these are nonfiction, and then all of our fiction books are underneath. Now, this is not every single one of our books. They do have some books in their bedroom on a bookshelf, and we also have another shelf in another room that has a few more books, but this is kind of where they have most of their reading books. Along the bottom, like I said, there's going to be some toys. We have Lincoln Logs, a marble track, gears, and even some little and even some blocks. I don't even know what they're called, but I have them. My goal with these toys was that they were something that the boys could build with. They really love Legos, but these just give them a different shape to kind of put things together, and it's a little more open-ended than a lot of toys. Right next to the teacher couch, I have a cabinet, so on top I kind of leave our read aloud books or any books that I'm even reading, and I can read while I'm waiting for them to finish an assignment or something. And I also keep a few of our bigger floor puzzles here just so that they have access to them. I also even have a few board books in a little container that I actually save just in case we have any smaller kiddos come over. They can have a big basket of books to play with when they come over. So that's there for my niece. The next little area of our homeschool room is just a simple lifetime table. I like that this just gives them a place to sit down and do their work, but I have found that a lot of times they just like doing their schoolwork on the floor, and they typically save the table to put Legos on or build on, and that's where they just kind of keep things, and then they'll do their homework on the floor. But it is there, and it's an option if we did need a more structured area. Next, over by the door that leads outside, we have some cubbies on the wall, and all these are is just to hold some shoes and jackets so that they're really easily accessible when the boys want to go outside. The next big part of my homeschool room is what I call the Homeschool Shelf. Up on the top shelf is where I keep most of my teacher things. So I have one cubby that's strictly just curriculum that we're using. It includes the teacher's manuals, any workbooks that I don't need to have in the kids' cubbies, and anything in my homeschool binder as well. Next, I also have an area where I keep some of our curriculum supplies. So I have our All About Reading flashcards here and just some other various materials that we use. On the shelves below, I have my turn-in box, which I could not live without. And then right next to that, I have little magazine holders, one for each kid, and this is where their workbooks go. So this is where they kind of put their workbooks back so that when we're moving on to another subject or they're done with a subject, they know exactly where it's at and where to put it away. On the next shelves down, I have one paper sorter that sorts our construction paper and our coloring books, and a few of our how to draw books. And then next to that is where I keep our basic art supplies. So this is gonna be some markers, crayons, colored pencils, and just regular pencils and erasers. And so things that my kids kind of need access to every day to complete their various assignments. Right above my teacher chair is a TV, and I have this hooked up to an Apple TV so that I can bring out my Apple computer or my phone and I can screen share onto this, and we can use this to watch YouTube videos. My kids right now are learning their multiplication facts, so we will pull up the Number Rock multiplication videos and they love to dance to them, and then it helps get them into the counting by sixes or sevens or whatever they're working on. And this is also a great place if I have any curriculum that requires video, that I can just put it up and I don't have to worry about all of us trying to get around my phone. I can just put it up on the TV and they can all see it, and we can learn together that way. I also wanted to mention that sometimes our homeschooling can take place at the kitchen table. Sometimes my kids are working on computers and I don't know why, they just aren't that big a fan of headphones. So the noise can get a little distracting to those that aren't working on a computer. So I have them typically go sit up at a kitchen table so that they're still out where I can see them, but not too close that all my other children get distracted and start watching whatever somebody is doing on the computer. Next to our kitchen table, we have a calendar. So this is just a place where we don't necessarily do a daily morning calendar anymore, but I do like to keep this updated. I can't say it's always updated every month, but I try. I do try to kind of put some of our family activities or things that the kids need to know are coming. So we can put music lessons or birthdays or any event that they might need to be aware of, so that we know what's coming up for the next month. Below the calendar is just a basic chalkboard, and the boys, this is just something that sits there and the boys love to draw on it. I can sometimes use it if we're at the kitchen table to write something out and teach if I need to. I don't go to it all that often, but every once in a while it's fun if they're sitting down eating and we're having a discussion and I need to put out a math problem or something. So again, learning can happen all the time with homeschooling. Now that is it for our homeschool room. I also have a homeschool closet that just kind of stores all of the extra stuff. The curriculum for next year, old curriculum that I'm waiting for my youngest to be able to use, some more fancy art materials like paints and glitter. We also have some science kits and just various other school-related objects. This closet is basically just used for storage of things that I don't use on a day-to-day basis, but I know I'm gonna need every once in a while. We have manipulatives here. I have a couple of other random little games that I could pull out and they could play with. So I just keep a lot of various materials in here that I can use for homeschooling. All right, that basically does it. That is a tour of our homeschool room. What is your favorite space in your homeschool room? Mine is definitely my teacher chair. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to get more homeschool content just like this. See you next time.